Now, speaking of K Slay, now, if you really understand your hip hop, you know, we could go all the way back to Star Wars. You know, K Slay was an OG graffiti artist, writer from back in the day. Like people don't really understand. People know K Slay because he made a name for himself with the drama king shit, with the
Right,
mixtape
right,
shit.
right.
You know, but they don't know his story is really a hip hop story from doing all the elements of hip hop back in the day when hip hop first started to getting in the streets, getting caught up in the system, coming out and reinventing himself, and then really creating a lane for so many artists. I don't think people understand the importance of K Slay, not to just hip hop, but the streets and the way he was taking calls from Rikers Island and from all the different prisons all over. Very important. Speak to me about how you linked up with K Slay and his legacy and the way that he inspired you.
Well, me being a young kid, always infatuated with hip hop. Hip hop was my dream, and I told myself, I didn't really need to take nothing else serious because one day I'm going to be a rapper. And I was a knucklehead, and I was being foolish. You know what I'm saying? Due to me doing that, I ended up in the streets doing certain because it didn't work out for me that at a young age. I ended up in the streets doing things I had no business doing. You know what I'm saying? And I found myself incarcerated. I was on Rikers Island. And I always knew how to rap. I had a name for it. People knew I knew how to spit. You know what I'm saying? But when I was in there and I seen that brothers you had to ask for permission to wash your ass. You know what I'm saying? I felt like being incarcerated beneath that, it was just, the only thing beneath that is death. And I told myself, this is not what I want for myself in the future. When I get home, I'm gonna take my music serious. I came home, I went in the studio, I recorded a CD with 7 songs. On the cover, I had a mic in one hand, a gun in the other hand. And I was listening to the radio, and at that time, if you weren't coming through certain entities like Murder Inc. or Rough Rider or, some of those, prominent figures, you weren't really getting in the game. It wasn't that easy to get on as it is now. And I listened to Hot 97 one night, and I listened to K Slay, and he was actually playing new artists on the radio. So I said, at that moment, I said, yo, I gotta meet this guy.
Yeah.
I started selling the CDs out my trunk. I looked up Hot 97. I went up to the radio station, and I waited for him. He came outside. I gave him my CD. I went back. I listened to the show. I didn't hear my song play. I was like, damn, this guy, he didn't play the song. I came back next week. I gave him the CD again. I listened. I still didn't hear my song. Now I'm getting kind of angry. I'm like, oh, this dude is nice. He's dissing me. So he's on the radio. I'm listening to the show. I'm noticing it's almost time for him to go off the air. He still didn't play my song. I called up, Snowball's Chance in Hell. He answered the phone. I'm like, yo, why haven't you played my song? He like, yo, everybody can't be a rapper. Some people gotta be a fireman. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh, nah, man. You know what? I said, yo, when this dude come downstairs, I'm approaching him. He came down. I was actually calling from in front of the station. So when he came down, I approached him, and we was about to get at it. Was a person he was with at the time. They mediated, and he took the CD. He said, yo, I got you. I left it alone. I'm pissed off. I had a manager. Long story short, he passed away. As I was leaving his funeral, I had just got into an altercation, and my life was going left again. I got a phone call. It was K Slay, because my number was on the CD. And he said to me, you're on the radio next week, man. I listened to the CD. You dope. He brought me a Hot 97. Mobb Deep was there, Prodigy, rest in peace. I spit live on the air, and he wound up signing me.
Dang. That's crazy. At least he said fireman. He didn't say like McDonald's or nothing.
It's interesting.
UPS is hiring.
Right. He dissed me. But it's interesting what Talib said, K Slay give opportunities to new artists. Even back then, he was giving new artists an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So that's just an amazing thing because he's a pioneer at that. Like, not too many people in hip-hop really gives new artists an opportunity. So shout out to K Slay, man. That's my big brother now.
Shout out to K Slay. Word is bond.
What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party. When opportunity knocking, then young nigga move that door. Whoa, get your foot stuck in it, call me young, go get it. They can't fuck with it, might as well roll with it.